Hello class, so this is a solution for chapter 5, homework problem number 3, which is 5.1a. So you have to complete the worksheet here. You have information on the adjustments. So the worksheet consists of 10 money columns, so 5 pairs. So there is a column here with all account names taken from the ledger, and then you've got 5 pairs. You've got trial balance debit credit, adjustments debit credit, adjusted trial balance debit credit, income statement debit credit, balance sheet debit credit. So this worksheet has all the information needed. It's like a hub of all financial data. So the trial balance comes, all these balances come from the ledger. Every pair of columns has to be the same, has to be equal. So this is populated from the ledger after we complete it. Then we make adjusting entries. So here it says complete the worksheet by making the following adjustments. So supplies on hand is 4,200, which means it's what I still have. So I have to look at supplies right here, 39,400. Let me open like a calculator here. So I had 39,400 supplies, and I still have on hand 4,200 left. So I adjust by the amount I used up. And so this amount used up is $35,200. This amount I debit into the expense always, 35,200, and adjustment is a debit to an expense and credit to an asset. So what happens then is that my supplies, I have previous balance minus what used up, so the adjusted balance would be 4,200. What I have, they stated right here, okay? And this amount is moved by debiting expense, increasing expense. Okay, the next one is expired insurance 5,500. No thinking here, just that is your debit to insurance expense. So insurance expense debit 5,500. And prepaid insurance credit decrease. Debit and expense, credit and asset or contra asset. Okay. The next one, the last one, is depreciation. Again, no calculations needed. They gave it to us, 1,600. So I debit depreciation expense for equipment. I credit accumulated depreciation. All right, I'm done. We're done with adjustments. On the bottom, both debits and credits are the same. The next two columns, we're going to go line by line and combine them. So I'm combining trial balance as well as the adjustments. So I go line by line. Cash has not been impacted, so I just copy trial balance cash. It has not changed. Same with accounts receivables. Oops, that's the wrong column. So we already did supplies. So it had a debit balance, we decreased it, and so this is a new balance. Prepaid insurance, 66 minus 55 gives me a new balance of 60,500. Equipment has not changed. Accumulated depreciation now is 1,600. So it was 0 and we increased it. Accounts payable has not changed. Still a credit of 25,800. Capital has not changed. Oops, that's the wrong column. 225300. Drawing has not changed. And then revenues has not changed. And then we have all these expenses. All of them are debits. So some of them are new after adjustment, some of them are old that we had from the ledger, but all of the expenses are debits. always debits. All right, so making sure my debit and my credit is the same. So something here, let me double check. Somewhere I put too much. 6109, 15.4. Right here I made a mistake. Transposition. All right. Oh, and somewhere else, right here. Two transpositions, Dmitry. Not a good job. All right. So now I can move forward as my columns are equal. Okay, so what we do at this point, we're just going to find drawing and draw a line. So everything above, I'm sorry, below, line below drawing. So everything starting from drawing and up, I'm going to copy, no thinking. Everything from this drawing, 15.4, I'm copying to the balance sheet. So I'm just copying the same accounts, same amounts, no thinking. So the top goes to the balance sheet from the adjusted trial balance. Keep your debits, credits intact. Just copy. That's it. The last one is drawing, okay? And that's it. That's the balance sheet. Everything below drawing, so this 114 is revenue and then expenses, I copy to the income statement. So the bottom half, so this is my fees income credit, and then all of the expenses are debits. All right, this should be good. So what we have on the bottom of the both columns, the difference between credit and debit is net income. So this is my revenues, this is total expenses. So when I calculate the difference, subtract, I put it right here, 35,500. That is our net income. So right here, I have to choose net income. And when I add it to the left column, then my columns are equal, right? So total expenses, total revenue, the difference goes under expenses to make both columns equal. What is great here, kind of cool, is that the difference between the next two columns, balance sheet, debit, credit, must be the same net income. But it goes to the credit side. So again, 284 minus 359 gives me the same amount of net income. If they're not the same, we made a mistake. We completed the worksheet. And then right here you have an analyze question. So it's asking us, how does insurance adjustment affect prepaid insurance? Prepaid insurance is an asset. Every adjustment increases an expense and decreases an asset. So prepaid insurance is an asset, so it decreases that asset. Okay, so this is number 3. And then in number 4, you will use the worksheet to prepare financial statements. You will do it on your own. All the information is in the book, and we've done financial statements. On question number 5, you will do everything. You will prepare the worksheet just like I did right now. And then using the worksheet, you will prepare 3 financial statements, and then you will make adjusting entries and you post them. So this is a great problem. The analyzed question, I gave you an answer in the discussion board. So there is an answer. And the last question, question number 6, it's called the general ledger problem. So there are a lot of tabs. You just have to do general journal and then the last one, impact on income. So you just enter general journal and then ledger, trial balance, all of these babies, except for the last tab, they will be populated. So for example, it says on June 1st, they paid 16.8 rent in advance for 7 months. And so right now, 1 month went by, right? So how much is the adjustment? You need to make adjustments. Make adjusting entry. So if I prepaid 16,800 in rent for 7 months, I'm going to divide it by 7. So this is how much rent has expired. So I need to move it to rent expense. So a month later, June 30th, I'm taking this 2,400, put it here, and then accounts is rent expense debit, and expenses debit, and asset or contra asset is credit. That's it. I recorded it. So when I look now in the general ledger, it recorded itself. It populated. So right here and right here. So you don't need to enter anything. Trial balance, it's running it. Income statement, you see this 24 reappeared. Equity, so everything is run except for the last tab. And the very last tab is asking us about the impact of adjusting entry that we just did for rent. And so this entry that we just did, which part goes on the income statement? Well, it's the rent expense. It decreases income. Which part goes on the balance sheet? It's the asset, prepaid rent. And what's the impact on the income statement? It's decreased. So since we record an expense, so I put negative 24, makes it parenthesis. So this amount of general journal, it decreases net income. Okay, and so you complete the same for other transactions. So have fun doing your homework. Ask me questions via Zoom or in your discussion board.